Well, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday morning.
Morning.
I just it's I think we're on episode number 4,
Yep.
and I'm actually having a blast doing this. So I'm glad that everyone's been able to join, and everyone's having fun with these podcasts. I've been getting a lot of great feedback especially on the toy aspect of what I've been doing. So. And then, Jeanette, how are you?
I'm good. Hot as hell, yes. If I look a bit, it's the heat.
Nice.
Yeah. And you? How's your back? Back day today at the gym?
I had back day at the gym, so it's been going really well. So I've just been getting really back into my to my workouts and everything. So yeah.
Cool.
And then I'd like to introduce Drakkon. He's new to the channel. He's actually done quite a few videos out there with Jeanette. I know they've been doing some collab. So yeah, we've been working on that, and it's great to have him. He's a big Power Rangers fan, so he wanted to come on.
It isn't obvious.
To come on and talk some Power Rangers. So and then we're gonna talk some Power Rangers. We're gonna talk some Transformers. We're gonna talk some G.I. Joe. But yeah, so we'll just we may have a special guest later. But I'll let everybody know. But I guess for me, I do know of the Power Rangers. I've always clicked. When it was on, I've always clicked here and there. Enjoy. It was one of those things because you had Power Rangers, you had VR Troopers, and then when Hasbro took control, and then it wasn't until the 2017 movie. I can't remember what streaming I was on, but was it streaming or I had it in my my library. So I decided to click it on and watch it. And you know what? I gotta say it wasn't that bad. I didn't mind it at all. So it was one of those. It was actually pretty good. So, and I heard a few other podcasts this week. I know Wicked Virtue. I know Comics Division. They were talking about it on their stream. So yeah, I did not mind Power Rangers. So Drakkon, you're basically gonna tell us all about the Power Rangers.
I will tell you what I can. I consider myself a super fan, but there are people out there that know way more than me, and I'm like, gets a little jealous on that.
Yeah, I know from what I know about Power Rangers is it was one of the go-to shows that I used to put on to keep the grandchildren and my children entertained. Because how long has Power Rangers been going, James? When did they first come out?
So Power Rangers started in the U.S. in 1993, the summer of 93. And it was on Fox Kids nationwide. And,
okay, so then I'm not tripping. I do remember playing it for my own children because mine were born in 87, 89, and 91. And I remember it was a go-to, and it's actually quite funny. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's ironic, or I guess interesting, that I started very young. I watched it from the beginning at 2 years old, and I remember watching the early episodes. So I was like super young, and yet it's like one of my earliest memories.
Yeah. Now, when I put it on the other day, you sent a couple, and I put a few on just to refresh my memory. And I remember there was just certain aspects of it, like the narration not narration, but this one character, I think she's supposed to be the bad guy. And the way she talks
Rita.
The whole time. I have no
Rita
idea.
Repulsa. Yep.
But it was just funny. I remember that, yeah. And how many Power Rangers do you have in your collection? I suppose all of them.
I am going to be showing you a snippet of what I have. I have probably well over 300 Rangers, 300 action figures in my collection. I am,
Bloody hell.
by collector standards, I am the worst collector imaginable because every single one I have is open. Now I have the boxes in storage under my bed, but every single action figure I have is open, and the ones I don't have displayed, the ones I don't have displayed, I do have stored together in a box. So periodically I'll put Power Rangers up and pull another set out. But because they're teams, I display them as a team. Like I don't just display one Ranger.
Okay. Yeah.
So I can tell you that my little thing about Power Rangers, and I think Drakkon, I told you about. So my niece, she makes. I should actually pop her. I should get her Instagram in the chat for people to follow. But she makes specialty balloons. Like she'll do like anything like Marvel, Transformers, Pokemon. But she was at so Amy Jo Johnson, the Pink Ranger, she was here in at one of the comic shops here in Ontario, and my niece was there with her because she made a Pink Ranger balloon, so it was pretty cool. So and it was really because when I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. My niece is hanging out with Amy Jo Johnson, so it was so that's my bit of connection to Power Rangers.
Carlos, are you one of those amazing people that are just connected to everyone?
Listen, remember,
it's cool. Yeah,
I was in government for a very long time, so you just meet everybody. So
yeah, I was in the bank as well as a broker, and then you get to meet a lot of people. So yeah, I get it. But it's just fun to hear because oh, never mind. I know your girlfriend's connected to Jessica Simpson.
Yeah.
I saw a pic of the two of them. Yeah. They almost look like they could be twins.
Yeah, everyone else.
It's freaky. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone. I think because I posted their picture and everyone's like, "Are they sisters? They could be related." And I said, "No, they're just close friends." So
yeah, she looks more like Jessica than Ashley does. Jessica's actual sister.
Yeah.
The strange thing. Yeah.
My mind,
anyway,
I
James,
would jump to.
Yeah.
I would say my mind, I would jump to. She was a body double, like like how they a lot of celebrities have a double for like security purposes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, mind you, I've never met Jessica Simpson, so but yeah, that's her friend.
Tiny little girl. She's short. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you going to show us? Yeah.
I have a lot to show off. I thought I'd try to make it like a story. So as I go through each thing, I'll start with what I have behind me here first. So the oldest pieces I have in my collection, they were put out by Hasbro, I want to say in 2010, maybe a little bit earlier. So the posability on these are not the best, but they were the best for the time in which they had come out. So I've got the original Green Ranger.
Oh,
I have got the Zeo Gold Ranger, and all of their weapons, like they each came with a weapon, but the weapon was just a plain gray plastic. And then Then got Lord Zed, who was the big bad that showed up in season 2.
Nice.
And then I've got the White Ranger, which a lot of the younger MMPR fans are more associated with the White Ranger, whereas a lot of the olders are more associated with the Green Ranger. So yeah. All right, so there's those.
So, quick question, Drakkon. I remember we had that. We had a bit of a discussion regarding the GI Joe classifieds. So, and I think you made there because this I wouldn't have known, but basically they're of the same mold.
Yes, I'm getting to them. Those are kind of like my pride and joys, and I figured I'd save those for last.
Nice.
So these boxes I have here. So this is a box. This was the Omega Rangers, which you were talking about. They're that same mold as the classifieds. and they are from the comic books. Now, the story behind it is you have the original Red Ranger Jason, the original Black Ranger Zach, and the original Yellow Ranger Trini, and they were accompanied by an alien. I believe it was Kira, something similar to that. I have the comic, but I only read it once, so I'm not as familiar with it. But when the story behind it is when the original actors left the show and they were replaced, they left for a peace conference. The comic book takes place during when they were supposed to be at the peace conference, and it turns out that that was a ruse, and Zordon, their mentor, sent them on a mission to space, and so they remained Rangers just with a new team. The next one is this is the Alien Rangers. The Alien Rangers were from the planet Aquitar, and they came to help Angel Grove when Rita and Zordon turned the Rangers into children. Because they were children, they could no longer morph, but the city of Angel Grove still needed Rangers. So Zordon sought help from the Alien Rangers. So that's where the story behind them. This box here. Go ahead.
I was going to ask you, which Red Ranger had the strongest leadership arc, and which one just thought he did?
There's for both of those questions, there's multiple choices you could choose. I would say Jason is most definitely the most secure Ranger. Next to him would be Tommy when he became the Red Zeo Ranger. Tommy learned a lot of his leadership skills from Jason. So it kind of just carried over. And
then which one thought he had the strongest, but he didn't?
Now, not all the Red Rangers were male. Some of them were female. A lot of the younger fans, they like, I believe her name was Lauren. She was with the Samurai series. She's very controversial. Not that she's a bad character or anything. It's just some people didn't like her as Rangers. Some people really liked her as a Ranger. But if I would have to pick, I would have to say it was the Wild Force season. To use a wrestling term, he was just too green. He was just too eager. And it seemed like he didn't think things out. And so a lot of the things, he was meant to be the leader, but it felt like to me, a lot of their success as a team was by chance.
Not by design.
Wasn't because it wasn't because he had any good leadership skills or anything. But that's just me. I'm sure there's several out there that would disagree with me. Wild Force, though, is still one of the greatest seasons because it had the most popular episode in Power Rangers history with Forever Red, which was the first time that it was the 10th anniversary of Power Rangers, and it was the first time that they had, it was the 10th season, and they had all 10 of the previous Red Rangers in one episode, and they teamed up against the remnants of the Machine Empire, which, funny enough, the show creators used suits from another Saban show, Beetleborgs, as the bad guys. So that was kind of fun. A lot of fans just kind of like pretend it was a Beetleborg Power Rangers crossover.
So it's funny because the more I'm hearing about this, the more now I kind of want to delve into the lore of Power Rangers because it's always great having great story arcs, especially with certain series. So that's how I fell in love with G.I. Joe and Transformers because of the story arc and how everything went. So now hearing about like I said, when I watched the 2017 live action Power Rangers movie, I thought it was pretty cool. Like I was just like, because I was never into Power Rangers, but when I watched that movie, I was just like, you know what, this is pretty damn good. So
he knows as much about Power Rangers as you do about Transformers. There's not a question I can throw that he doesn't know.
Nice.
Yep. I don't buy many Blu-rays. I have, or physical media, I have a large collection, but it's only really the movies I really, really like. I go out and I get a physical copy because it's the replayability. If you don't really like something, why buy a physical form of it? If you really love it, you're going to play it over and over again. So
yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you say that because one of my favorite movies is a movie called Stretch with Patrick Wilson and Jessica Alba. Blaine from Critic List actually did the review the other day on that movie. He was like, because he was just like, you know what, this is one of those one-hit wonders, and I'm just like, once I saw he was talking about it, I had to jump on because this is one of my favorite movies. So I didn't even know there was a Blu-ray version out. So after watching his stream, I actually ordered the Blu-ray. And that came in yesterday. So because it's one of those movies that's I think it's one of the best comedies in the 2000s. So I know everyone loves Tropic Thunder. I like Tropic Thunder too, but Stretch, it's just one of those movies where it's just like it's a banger. So
yeah, I think a lot of people like Tropic Thunder simply because they were willing to do things that even back then were controversial.
Yeah.
And just people loved it. They, excuse my language, they just loved the balls that the film creators had.
Yeah. Well, and that's why Stretch was one of those movies where it kind of went out there, and I was so happy for it, and it was a great Blaine did an amazing job reviewing that movie because it's one of those classics that that's out there. But going back to the 2017 Power Rangers movie, it was like I didn't know what to expect because not watching it, I was like, am I gonna enjoy this? And I did,
Yeah. I just wanted to give a shout out to Kiwi Classic. I see she's in chat. Kiwi's the one who does the amazing thumbnail for us every week. And if anyone's in the market for a thumbnail artist, Kiwi is your girl. She's brilliant. And it's 2:20 in the morning where she is. So that's like,
oof. Oh, man.
Hi, Cobber.
So
hello,
the
chat.
Last thing I want to show before I get into the actual figures is this big box here. So there is a tabletop game called Heroes of the Grid. And there's actually a G.I. Joe version that has the exact same mechanics as this game. And it uses miniatures. They're larger miniatures. They're not like D&D size miniatures. But I love the artwork of this box. Several different
there's a pumpkin head. Turn it again. No, there was a pumpkin.
Yes, that is the pumpkin rapper. Is his name?
Yeah, I just did an animation for Full My Kraken. Such a weird name. Anyway, using a pumpkin head for the main character to glorious death. So that's why that caught my eye. So that's obviously a big thing. Yeah, in South Africa, we don't really do Halloween. So the pumpkin thing is kind of lost on me, but that was weird to see it there. Cool.
So this right here, I had the figure of him, but I didn't really want to bring him out. This is Finster right here. So that's Rita Repulsa. I always forget which is which, but it's Squat and Babu, and then Goldar. Finster is her similar. I've always gone back and forth between a dog or a goat, but
okay, from South Africa, it looks like a dog.
Finster is the one that creates all of Rita's monsters and her henchmen, the Putty Patrollers. So he's really the mastermind. Like, she's the general, but he's the one that creates all the monsters.
Yeah.
So, all right. So now we can get into the figures. So I'll start off here with Alpha 5. So he was basically like Zordon's assistant. He runs everything in the command center. And the Blue Ranger, Billy, who is like a super genius, he kind of does any repairs that might be needed on Alpha. They kind of like a hand them in the command center. The cool thing about this figure is it came with a little teddy bear that is from a specific episode. There we go.
Yep.
Oh, I see it.
So when this came out, a lot of people really liked that figure.
I always remembered the robot figure there. So that was one thing you've always seen on anytime they're showing a clip, you always see they're in the headquarters and you see the robot figure. So
yeah, I actually a number of years ago I ordered a it was when they had become Zeo. I ordered the display that held all the MMPR suits. I can't show it because it's just so darn big. But I had it. I special ordered that, and it's cool. It's just so dang cool. If I could, I would show it, but like I said, it's just so big.
Yeah,
What I can show here is Lord Zed himself, and I had this chair made. So it's his actual throne.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
oops.
Oh, geez.
He used to throw these little bombs. So,
Yeah.
and then the back of the chair.
That's nice.
Yeah. And he did a face plant just for us.
All right, let's see.
See, that's why I don't open my Transformers, because I'm afraid to drop them.
Well, see, the thing is it's easier for your Transformers to break than my figures.
Yeah.
So, that was Zordon, eh?
That was Zed. That was Lord Zed.
That's Zed. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the villain. Next, I'm going to go into. So, as I mentioned before, the Omega Rangers, as I showed you. So, there's one of those figures and his helmet. The interesting thing here is this is Jason, but this particular head sculpt is from the comics. They chose to keep it the symmetry or whatever, where the figures from the comics, so they chose the head sculpt from the comics as well. Showing off another one of my customs here is this. So this was never, it was used in the comics. But the story behind this suit is Power Rangers is based off of the Super Sentai series, which sadly is just ending. It was just recently announced that Super Sentai will be ending. This particular suit is from the series called Super Sentai Dia Ranger. And their Zords were used for the second season of Power Rangers. The studio and the show creators chose not to switch suits because they thought it would, like, people would stop watching, is what I remember them saying. But they chose the Zords. And so there's always been a lot of fan theories on, well, what if they had chosen the new suits? And then the comics eventually came out and used the suits in a more like a backstory for Power Rangers. But I chose to put...
Sorry, when did Hasbro purchase the Power Rangers?
I think either 2015 or 2016. It wasn't long after, it wasn't like long before the, I think the movie was in production when the buyout happened.
Okay. So it was,
James, yeah.
Sorry, so it was basically Hasbro saying, okay, well, here's a market we can expand on, and we're gonna gobble it up. So like Hasbro did with Kenner, in order to, do all the Star Wars toys. So because they already had Transformers, already had G.I. Joe, already had Mask, had Cops, had Gem, and with all their board games, with Monopoly and everything, Battleship, you figured Hasbro, they were just like, okay, you know what? Power Rangers, this live action TV show, let's grab a hold of it.
Add it to the list.
Yeah.
And when Hasbro bought them, they bought all of Saban Entertainment. So it wasn't just Power Rangers that they were buying. I mean, Power Rangers was the most valuable IP. But yeah, like you mentioned VR Troopers, I mentioned Beetleborgs, there's so many more properties that I'm not even remembering that were part of that sale. I think the sale was something like 55 billion. Was it million? I don't know.
Probably billion.
It was some astronomical number. So
Yeah, a million is chip change these days. Do
yeah,
you collect
that's true.
every suit color, James, from every team, or only the Rangers whose helmets don't trigger your symmetry OCD?
I typically try to get the entire team, whether I like the Ranger or not. If I like someone from the team, I want the entire team. So
It makes sense.
I'm a little bit of a completionist in that sense. So, like for example, my next thing I'll show you here is this is the inspiration for my name. This is Lord Drakkon. I chose it as my name because he's an alternate version of Tommy Oliver. And Tommy Oliver is my favorite character from the entirety of Power Rangers. And the reason why he's my favorite character is because his story from starting out as an evil ranger against his will, brainwashed by Rita Repulsa, to becoming a good ranger, to losing his powers, to gaining new powers, to becoming the leader of the Rangers, to then becoming a mentor to a new team of younger Rangers. It's a great story arc. And then the comics introduced Lord Drakkon. There was just an even more greatness to the arc. And it's an alternate universe where Tommy never became good and took over the entire planet. He took over Angel Grove with Rita Repulsa, then turned on Rita Repulsa and took over the entire planet. And then once he took over the entire planet, he turned his sights on the multiverse and jumped from universe to universe, taking over every Earth that he could reach. He brainwashed other Rangers like Kimberly and turned her into the Ranger Slayer. He brainwashed townspeople and turned him into his minions. And so he took the Red Ranger and made him a sentry, like a security guard, essentially.
Okay, well, that brings me to my next question. Which mentor was actually competent, and why is it never the one people expect?
Based on the seasons that I've watched, I would have to say would probably be the most unexpected would probably be the sensei from Ninja Storm. Now, although he was turned into a guinea pig for the entire season, he had a lot of wisdom behind him. And I feel like the Rangers would have been lost if they didn't have him at all. So, yeah, I feel like a lot of people would think I would say Tommy, but although he was a great mentor, Tommy was dealing with his own personal battles during that season. And a lot of times he left the Rangers to fend for themselves because he had his own issues going on. So yeah, that would be my answer. You're muted, Cole Hauser.
Sorry, Cole Hauser, I'm sending those to you by accident instead of to my grandchild. She's asking me a question.
Yeah. So question, what's the difference between VR troopers? Because I've seen some of the clips and the highlights, and I know I just saw the other day they had something on YouTube where they're showing the actors now and then. So what was the difference between VR troopers?
I actually never watched VR Troopers. I know that originally they wanted VR Troopers to be an original Power Rangers. It was their attempt at making Power Rangers not associated with Sentai. And they wanted it to be in the same universe. Or at one point they wanted it to be in the same universe, and then they changed their minds. I know at one point when Tommy because Tommy wasn't supposed to come back and become the White Ranger. He was supposed to just leave in general. But because he was so popular, they brought him back. But before they chose to bring him back, at one point they were going to have him be the lead character in VR Troopers. That didn't go the way they planned. I know that there's a niche group of fans that like VR Troopers. I'm indifferent to it. I don't have an opinion on it either way. But I'd say, if they want to make more of it, bring it on. Let's do it.
Yeah. So, and I guess the one thing a lot of people talk about is the character of Oliver.
Tommy Oliver. Yep.
Tommy Oliver. So yeah. Tell me a bit about him, and
well, like I mentioned, he was just in the story, he was just a kid that was going to Angel Grove, and Reedham picked him out in an alley and said, "You're going to be my Green Ranger. You're going to take down the Power Rangers." And that's how he got into it all. And then when the Rangers broke the spell, they invited him to join the team, and he was like, "I don't know if I deserve to." He's like, "I've done a lot." And the Rangers are like, "Well, you were brainwashed. You didn't choose to do those things that you did."
Yeah.
And so they accepted him in. And he wasn't in every single episode. He pretty much just showed up when the Rangers were in a bad way. And he had the coolest sword. I don't know if I have a picture of it. I don't. This is the closest thing I have to it. That's the artist rendition. But his sword was essentially Godzilla. It was a mech Godzilla. So this is an artist rendition of him as a samurai, and then the dragon sword behind him. Well, disappointed I didn't think to get some pictures of that, but no, he was just such a cool. Just everything about him,
Yeah.
And ironically enough, before he showed up, my favorite Ranger was actually Billy, the Blue Ranger. But then Tommy showed up, and I was like, "Nah, it's Tommy."
and I sadly the actor passed.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the things I heard about, about Power Rangers, and then I think the Asian girl, she passed as well, I believe.
So yes, the actress that played Trini Kwan, she passed, I think, in the early 2000s, and she was in the one of the Crow movies, and I can't remember if it was during or right after the filming of that movie. She passed away in a car accident, and then it was about 2 years ago. Jason David Frank, the actor who played Tommy, unfortunately took his life, and it's sad. I don't fully understand the reasonings or what took up, or like what took place leading up to that. I choose not to delve too much into it out of respect for him and his family. I know there's a lot of people that have their theories. There was a lot of people that were blaming his wife.
Best not to feed speculation, because unless it's actually founded in actual knowledge, in any case, then you shut up as well, because it's some stuff is meant to be personal and private. That brings me to another question. What's the most underrated Ranger seasons that collectors secretly gatekeep?
Underrated. Let's see here. There's a large fan base for SPD.
Sorry, what's SPD?
Yeah, I was just going to ask.
SPD, Space Patrol Delta is the team.
Okay.
And they were supposed to be space police, although in the season they spent all their time on Earth. So, but it's a great season. It's got a very compelling bad guy in General Grum, and another season. I did not like it initially. I refused to watch it. I don't know why these days. I know I had my reasons at the time. But another one that there's a large fan base for a lot of the younger audience is RPM. No acronym there, just RPM, as in like cars.
Okay.
Yeah. The gist of that season is basically post-apocalyptic. There's one city with human populations left in the world, and the world's basically been devastated by machines, by robots. And so yeah, and a lot of people really like that season. I started watching it a couple months ago. I got about halfway through it, lost interest, but I was like, okay, I can see why people like it. You know, it was very compelling at the beginning. But then as Power Rangers does, there's a lot of Monster of the Week, which isn't a bad thing. But at 35 years old, that gets a little tedious after a while.
Yeah, you know, it comes to me back to like for Transformers, because for the generation one, a lot of people, you know, there was a handful of people just said, you know, season 3 was the weakest. Now, mind you, there, you know, Optimus Prime, they brought him back in season 3. There was a handful of episodes, I'll admit, weren't the greatest, but then there were some really good episodes in season 3. Now season 4, it was a 3-parter. It was because one of the things they did was they changed the animation. So the animation just was really cheap on season 3. They did that. The same animation company, they did a couple episodes in season 2, and so you can just see the real cheapness in it. So, but the thing is, with season 3, you got the excellent movies. You got the music score that was just really good, and then that music score translated into G.I. Joe, which, because they're basically the same series, you know, same producer. It was Marvel Sunbro, where they just use the same music for pretty much everything. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask you as well, James, which Lightning Collection figure has the most satisfying articulation, and which one needs Rita's wand of magic to stand?
They're all pretty much have the same articulation. Yeah, I couldn't really pick one. Yeah, they pretty much all have the same articulation. I would have to say, like, I mean, if I was to pick my favorite one, it would be the Lord Drakkon, you know, because my name. But it's just...
Sorry. Yeah, your cat's ass is taking center stage.
She's wanting my attention. My attention's elsewhere. So
that was just funny, yeah.
But no, Lord Drakkon would be my favorite. I love the way the shield looks, the way they incorporated both Power Coin designs to make a new design for him and everything. And it's also cool, like the comics established that as powerful as he is, because he combined the White Ranger and Green Ranger powers, his power is unstable. So it's twice as powerful, but it's kind of twice as weak as well. Like its vulnerabilities, he has twice as much. So
okay. Does chat have any interesting questions for James on Power Rangers? I see chat is very quiet. Nothing interesting from chat today? Where are all the hot questions we are used to?
Yeah, I like I said, for me, it was like just trying to, like I said, if Power Rangers was on, and then I would click to it, you know, seeing some of the fighting scenes, because the fighting scenes was pretty intense. So I thought it was quite enjoyable. So
let's see here. Let me get through the last figures to show you that I had laid out here. So this here is the Putty Patroller. And they actually did, for the Putty Patroller, they did 3 different designs. So it's essentially the same figure, but they did different stripes, which was kind of cool. it was cool for the collector, but it was it was good for the company too, because they could save money on re-release a figure multiple times with just different paint. Now, the one I was the most excited, I wanted to save for last, is so Hasbro is known for doing collaborations with their figures. And so a lot of people that know Power Rangers, they know about the Cobra Kai ones. But I thought it was weird that not many people know about the Ninja Turtle collaboration that they did. So the first one I'm going to show you here is the Foot Soldier, or the Foot Clan, that they did. And this actually comes directly from the comic book collaboration they did. And this one is from where Tommy Oliver went undercover within the Foot Clan. So that's this figure right here. And then I debated on whether pulling out the Ninja Turtles themselves, but I opted to go with the Green Ranger Shredder instead, simply because it's just one figure. But he is so darn cool. And this the way they incorporated the style from the green suit into Shredder. I love it. And then they gave him an actual cloth cape. So
that is pretty
that's cool. I've got a question for you from Naruto the 7th. Naruto. Anyway, he wants to know your top 5 Power Ranger seasons.
Top 5. I'm going to put MMPR season 1 at the top. Next is going to be Dino Thunder. Then Ninja Storm. SPD. And then In Space.
Oh, cool. Do you agree with that, Naruto, or would you like to counter?
In Space is a popular one amongst Power Ranger fans because it was originally intended to be the end of Power Rangers. It was actually going to be canceled at that time. And then they went all out with In Space, and it got popular. So it essentially revived the series. But it's credited with being the end of the Zordon era, mainly because they do kill off Zordon at the end of that season. And Andros is one of the most popular Red Rangers in the series. He only came back for Forever Red, but he's still talked about, and the actor gets a lot of traffic at cons and stuff.
Naruto wants to know, what about Time Force? Lol.
Time Force is great. Barely, if I was have to put a number on it, I would put it at 6. It doesn't make my top 5, but Time Force is great, and I would say it's probably the first season with a female leader. There's a lot of people that say Wes, the Red Ranger, is the leader because the Red Ranger is always the leader. But just basically on the way she pulls the team together, my argument would be that the Pink Ranger is actually the leader in that season.
Yeah. And then I want to ask you, sorry, Calder.
No, go ahead. Well, I was going to ask, did you ever see the Keel and Peele skit they did with the Power Rangers?
Well,
I
didn't know they did one.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to watch that, it's pretty funny. So
I'm sure Key and Peele.
I'll see if I can find it.
Well, there's something you don't want to pull up, but
they were pretty raunchy.
Scratch that.
But when you get a chance, both of you, I would, and even in the chat, watch the Keel and Peele skit on Power Rangers. So I
kind of want to watch it now.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, Makara says Lightspeed, Time Force, In Space. They all have great intros.
Yeah, Lightspeed Rescue is really cool. Fun fact about Lightspeed Rescue, it has the first ever original American Ranger suit in it. So the 6th Ranger, I think he was called the Platinum Ranger. I can't remember. Anyway, their 6th Ranger in that season was completely original. He doesn't have a Sentai counterpart.
Oh, okay. Which suit design is peak tokusatsu? And which one feels like it escaped from a preschool arts project?
Preschool art project.
Which one was Pispoor?
What's that?
Now, I said which one was peak and which one was Pispoor?
I'm not sure on the suits. I mean, if you're gonna say like child's art project, I would say the putty. I mean, not a ranger, but yeah, I would say it's the putty. Honestly, the cleanest designed ranger suit, I got to go with the Green Ranger. I mean,
isn't that the one Beardo identifies with?
Yeah, it's the one he uses on Fortnite.
Yeah, we must ask him one day. Yeah, we must ask him one day why, what specifically really appeals to him. Carl Hauser, you had some interesting finds that you picked up this week, switching to Transformers.
Yeah, I picked up so I'll just show for Robotech. So I picked up I got this Dana Sterling.
Oh, you need to make yourself full screen.
Yeah.
Use.
So I got the Dana Sterling in her armor. So this finally came in. This is pretty cool. So if anyone knows about Robotech, Dana is the daughter of Max and Miria, so she's half alien, half human, and she is the leader of the 15th Squadron. So this is in the second series of Robotech. It has.
Oh, look at her cute little knee pad. Naruto also says very, very cool.
Yeah. So and then you can also, I'll just do this because that was her with her helmet on. And then...
Okay, so the helmet doesn't just come off. You have to take the whole head off.
Yeah, you have to take the whole head off. So, and here's her with her blonde hair. It's funny because her father's hair is blue and her mother's hair is green. And she came out as a blonde, so...
Yeah,
so this is pretty cool.
Two parents with different hair color and comes out with normal hair color.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have thought if they were yellow and blue, then she would come out with green.
Yeah.
But
right.
anyway,
and then I picked up some more Hall of Fame G.I. Joe accessory packs. So this is the desert gear. So
Desert Storm again. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why they gave him a black gun. Like, you know. But
blends in with the rocks out there, the rocky outcrops and the orange boots.
And then I got the Arctic Assault. Sorry if that's
that's better. Yeah, it's very well, it's white, it should be.
Yeah, so Arctic Assault, so I got that.
And look at the boots. It's even got the, what do you call those grip-ons? Is that what it's called?
Spikes,
yeah, what is it? Yeah, there's spikes a word for it. I think it's grip-ons or something. Am I tripping here?
So basically you can step in the snow and you can...
and grip onto the ice when you're going up the ravines.
They gave him a white rifle, so...
Which makes more sense.
Yeah.
And you would think white would be more difficult to do in metal.
Yeah.
Being a rifle than I mean, if they did white, they could have done camo rifle.
Yeah. And then I got the red beret pack.
Yeah.
So this is pretty cool.
Refresh my memory quickly. Maroon beret is the medical corps. Am I right?
No. So they used to have, like, for special forces, they had the different types of berets.
Yeah, I remember because my dad was in the army, but I'm trying to figure out what is red beret for.
So this was for, like I said, I believe red was part of Delta, or I can't remember which, but they changed it all up in the
actual series.
Well, no, I mean for because even though this is G.I. Joe, this is still part of the U.S. military line. Mm-hmm. So I know at some point they changed the special forces to I don't know if chat can help me out, but I know they changed them all to black berets. So
Yeah, my dad was Black Beret, but he was in the mechanics of the maintenance section of the army. Although he did go to the border a couple of times and fight there.
And then I got the scuba. So I got the
Nice.
scuba gear. So it was nice because I literally picked these up this week. Some guy had them for sale, so I just I just grabbed them.
Lucky.
And then so Jay on his Welcome to Rebellion stream one day, he was talking about watches. So I told him about a certain Transformer watch because it came with a time watch. Like it's still expensive, but so I got this Generation 2 Optimus Prime watch. Sorry for the plastic. So
a watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I picked that up. So this is pretty cool.
That's very nice.
So
I take it that's staying sealed in box.
Yeah.
So what's the I'm curious because what's the association with Transformers and Japan? Because I've noticed that there you have a lot of figures with Japanese writing on them, and I never fully understood what the association with Transformers in Japan was.
Well, Transformers started out in Japan, and what Hasbro did, Hasbro basically said, "Oh, look at this company, let's buy them out." So basically, like for instance, this one here. Let me just make my screen. So the Fortress Maximus, that's Transformers in Japan in Japanese.
Okay.
So, but Transformers did come from. They initially came from Japan, so they just bought out certain entities. So there was Diaclone, there was some Takar, there was other Whirl. He's from Japan, but he's from the V's. There's a certain line he's from. So and they, like I said, Hasbro, all they did was they just bought the entities, and then they just changed them over to Transformers for Hasbro.
So it's kind of basically just what happened with Power Rangers is Hans Saban licensed the Sentai footage to be used in America, but he had to make his own. He had to make his own stories with the footage.
Yeah.
And then decades later, Hasbro buys Saban.
Yeah. And then I got this week. So this is an original 1985 Shockwave.
Wow.
I showed this the other day in the package. Nice and sealed. There's a few cracks here, but it's in perfect condition.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Minting box.
Yeah, so this is nice. So I do have I do have another one here. But yeah, I got him. This one just came in this week. So
those ones look different in front though, Carl. If you hold the two boxes up.
This one's a lot cleaner.
What does that mean? Oh, less bits that come together.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, this one's a lot
I see
cleaner.
the nozzle. Yeah, the nozzle's different. Which interpretation of Shockwave do you think is the truest form of his logic? Marvel scientist, Sunbow loyalist, Prime warlord, or IDW god tier mastermind?
So in the comics, they made Shockwave completely different. In the comics, they made Shockwave basically a cold-blooded killer. So even Megatron couldn't stand. His iconic cover in issue 4 has Shockwave there with his his hands smoking, and in the background it says "are all dead," which he pretty much took out everybody. Actually,
Yeah.
that's Jay's favorite comic. Like, I think he has one that's graded, so I have it
Yeah.
somewhere. But so yeah, Shockwave was one of my favorites. So I have some other iterations of Shockwave. So this is when this is his actual. He's gray here, not purple. So this is
Ah.
him in his original toy form as Astro
Okay.
Magnum. So,
And when does that one date back to? That box you're holding?
This one dates back to. Let's see. It's a lot of Japanese wording. This one dates back to 1984.
Wow. That's when my husband and I met.
Nice.
We started dating.
And then I got the Radio Shack version. If everyone remembers Radio Shack back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was called Galactic Man. Same thing. He's gray. So, and like I said, they just made him purple. And for the Transformer line, because like I said, it went from this.
Yeah.
And then Hasbro buys the rights, and they change them into this.
Oh, right? They sex it up a little.
Exactly. They give them colors. They give them all these great stickers. And then I have the Tommy. Well, it's basically Hasbro, but the Tommy Takara version.
Oh, so, he's fully pumped in purple.
Yeah, so more articulation, a lot better. So,
Do you notice though, is there another box in that box? Is that just the outer holding box?
Yeah, well, that's just the outer. So.
Okay, so the inner box would have a little bit more exciting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, but did you notice the later ones? They're not as. It's just basically a plain grey background with the figure. Yeah. There's not as much detail as you got with the earlier renditions.
But see, that's what. Sorry for the noise, but that's what I'm just putting that back in. But see, that's what Hasbro does. So
yeah,
open this one up.
Focus on cheap packaging or not as detailed packaging, and the artwork is lost.
Yeah. So it's like that's what you get, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to, like I said, you get the nice packaging, you get the action shot, you get the nice.
Yes, you can see everything it does. Yeah. Right.
You get the nice background. So
and now you just get that.
Where this
polystyrene
in the box, you just get that.
Yeah, and I mean, if you turn the box around, there's not much on there. It's just the figure and a grey back. Okay, that one at least pretended to have a background. The other one you hold up is just grey. Yeah,
so that's the way Hasbro tends to do things. They tend to spice it up a little. So because they want you to. It's all about marketing. When you if you go to the store, and then you go to the store again. I'll just make this bigger. Oops. You go to the store. You see this or this. Which one are you gonna buy?
Of course, the one with the prettier colors.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you go to the back. Do you want an actual story, or you just want some robot standing there?
No, you'd want the story.
Yeah. So that's why Hasbro was a master of marketing things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I remember as a kid there was I know I don't have this 100% right, but there was a story of a Decepticon essentially being banished from the Decepticons. They were originally an Autobot. They became a Decepticon, and then they became like no affiliation. Like they didn't have it.
The only one I know of that, and that's Jetfire / Skyfire. when he was an explorer, friends of Starscream. He they found them buried on Earth in the Arctic Circle. Starscream recognized them, said, "Oh, that's my friend." He joined the Decepticons, realized that the Decepticons were evil. Then he switched sides to the Autobots, and then he was buried. He was buried again. They brought him back out, and so he was basically he was a good guy throughout the whole series. And then there was Blitzwing, who was a Decepticon. He got banished because he sided with the Autobots, but then he came back to the Decepticons. So there's a handful of figures that go back and forth. And then there's double the double spy Punch. His Autobot name is Punch. His Decepticon name is Counterpunch. So
he's a very bad spy.
Yeah, he is a bad spy. If Beetle is in the chat, he'll tell you he's like one of the worst spies ever. But it's funny because his masterpiece toy is called 007. So in reference for James Bond. So but yeah, there's
So I'm misremembering then that there weren't any that had no affiliation.
Yeah, and then I just picked up last week. So I already have number 1, but this is a higher grade than the one I have. So this is a 9.6.
Wow.
For number 1. Now, if you can get a 9.8 or 9.9, then you're golden. But like this is still high. Yeah. Because I do have one. I do have one, but it's only a 6.0. But it goes on the condition, and then you got the Star Wars arcade for your console, for your Atari. Yeah, there's Beto. He's the true worst spy.
You see, I'm learning, Carl. I remember that from the very first episode we did.
Yeah, so I got that, and then I got this one here, number 69.
Always a fun number.
Yep. And then
30 months think luck.
Now people are gonna laugh at this. Now, I bought this because so my girlfriend's a big fan of My Little Pony. So they actually did because it's the same. They did a Transformer My Little Pony crossover. So I actually got this for her. So
I was just going to ask you, is that your Christmas gift to your girlfriend? Because it better be.
Yeah, trust me, this ain't for me.
Yeah,
it's kind of a disturbing. It's kind of a disturbing title, "Friendship in Disguise."
Yeah, well, it's basically the same timeline, right?
I just wanted to say goodbye to Deb. Thanks for joining us, Deb. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, see you, Deb.
Thanks, Deb.
Yeah, because they did so many different crossovers, like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, My Little Pony. So there were so many different crossovers.
So that little pony was everywhere.
Basically. Well, it's like we were talking about.
Very busy pony.
Yeah, Hasbro's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask you, do you consider hose arm shockwave designs a bug or a feature of Cybertronian efficiency?
Yeah, I would say he's a little of both.
Yeah. Did you see the question from Naruto? He's
Optimus Prime and Lobo working together. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, they brought that out because the crossovers were big. And mind you, even with Shockwave, so when it came to the live action, because he was in his character was in Dark of the Moon, but the original voice actor, Corey Burton, he didn't want to They asked him to come back to reprise his role, but he turned him down. He said no.
Yeah. Then which modern figure best captures the Generation 1 proportions without drifting into this isn't Shockwave anymore territory?
In the live action?
I'm assuming so.
I would say there was nobody.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any.
And in the comics?
Well, comics is a little different, but when it came to the live action, well, that's not true. If you go back to live action, if you go back to live action, Bumblebee had the best. I would say Bumblebee had the best iteration for, because in the first 30 seconds they actually made the characters, they actually made the Transformers look like Optimus Prime looked like Optimus Prime. Wheeljack looked like Wheeljack. Cliffjumper looked like Soundwave looks like Soundwave. But yeah, it's they didn't do a very good job of well, I've always said you can't make as much as, well, now the AI is full blown, like you can actually make, there's been a lot of videos of everyone making live action Transformer clips where it actually looks really good, but for a live action movie, kind of I would have just left it alone. So
that's similar with Power Rangers. When they did the 2017 movie, one of the biggest complaint in that movie amongst Power Ranger fans was what they did to Goldar. Goldar was Rita's right-hand man in the TV show, and they relegated him to a mindless, soulless robot made out of gold. And, I remember having discussions with people. They're like, why didn't they just go with Cyclopsis? Like in this series, Cyclopsis almost destroyed the Rangers, and he was a robot. He was piloted by Goldar. And
well, see, it's like, okay, it's like for G.I. Joe, like all it is soldiers. That was an easy interpretation on how to make a live action. But like even in the first live action G.I. Joe, they did these power suits where they can run faster, they can jump higher, and it's just like, not even in the cartoons, except for like their Space Marines they did in the later, where it didn't even make sense. It didn't make, even Cobra, who has the crazy tech, they never use like power armor. They never put that in the cartoon because it wouldn't have made sense. Yeah, they had high tech aircraft, they had trouble bubbles, it's like a flight pod. They had certain things, but they never put them in it wasn't basically Robotech, right? Because Robotech, they're, it's like, it's like Dana, like she rides a hover tank that transforms into a Battloid, which makes sense, right? But the same time for G.I. Joe, they just didn't, for the live action, they didn't make any sense. Like, like the one thing that Jeremy always says is, they've never made they could have made a proper G.I. Joe movie, but they didn't. So that's where I can go back and say, listen, if you go watch a movie like Act of Valor or 13 Hours, you like, and Michael Bay did 13 Hours. Like they could have went and made a perfect G.I. Joe movie based on those two movies easily. Easy. And like even the original American Ninja with Michael Dudikoff and Steve James, they could have used that as a premise for a Snake Eyes movie because in that movie, Michael Dudikoff's character barely spoke, and he was a ninja. And if you were to bring that around for Snake Eyes, it would have been a perfect interpretation of it because in the Snake Eyes origins, they race swapped him. So they made him Asian, and they made him a full ninja, which
Yeah.
originally Snake Eyes is a commando. He's one of the U.S. military's top top special forces guys. So
Yeah.
there was just a lot they didn't. So
A lot of opportunities they missed.
Big time. Like there was so much that could have been. Like if you go back and you can watch any movie that Chuck Norris was in, Mission in Action, Missing in Action, Delta Force, all of those movies could be easy a G.I. Joe movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is anyone here seeing Passenger 57 with Wesley Snipes?
I think I have.
It's
I
the
just
one where
can't remember.
he's on the airplane. It's hijacked.
Yes. And they don't realize his skill set. And
Right.
he keeps it under wraps and he works. Yes.
Yeah. So that movie could have been G.I. Joe, they brought out a set of comics called G.I. Joe Special Missions. So they weren't just fighting Cobra, they were fighting other terrorist groups, whoever around the world. Yeah. Passenger 57, Wesley Snipes' character could have been Stalker, and that could have been a G.I. Joe Special Missions movie. Easily.
Do you think when you have the passion that you have for a raw and that whole genre, that every movie you see that's good, you almost rewrite it in your head as the perfect G.I. Joe vehicle?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
It's it's funny. So
and other people might not see it, but you see it instantly because you are such an avid collector.
So there's this one guy on YouTube. He does a lot of G.I. Joe. He actually wears a Cobra. He wears a Cobra mask. So he does a lot of G.I. Joe content when it comes to the toys, cartoons, or episodes. So he did the whole thing of Die Hard.
Yeah.
Because you have this big debate about Die Hard being a Christmas
whether
movie
it's a Christmas movie or not. Yeah.
So this guy pointed out this guy pointed out, and it made a lot of sense, that Die Hard could essentially be a G.I. Joe movie, whereas Hans Gruber, this terrorist guy, could be looking at getting the attention of Cobra Commander. This is what we've done. This is what we're doing. So
yes,
why not make that like a Cobra subforce? Because even in the original, there were all these subgroups who wanted to join Cobra because they saw Cobra's strength, they saw Cobra's power. So that's why. But John McClane, who wasn't affiliated with anybody, basically wrecked those plans of Hans Gruber, and then Hans is basically, okay, well, he fooled the pan, so there's like no Cobra for them. So Cobra would have just passed them on. So
and it'd be funny too because Bruce Willis was in one of the G.I. Joe movies.
Yeah, he was in. He played General Colton in G.I. Joe Retaliation.
Was that before he made his name big, or was this after?
No, this was after. The G.I. Joe Retaliation came out in, what is it, 2003, 2004?
So was it more of an ensemble cast then, that he was one of the characters?
Well, the thing is, when they put The Rock in it, it kind of just ruined the whole movie. Like, once they put The Rock in that movie, it was just like who was in that? You had The Rock, you had Bruce Willis. They got rid of Channing Tatum's character, which I was fine with. They who else did they have in that? They got Sienna. Was it Sienna Miller? She was in the original one as well.
Oh yeah.
So
was she good?
She played the Baroness. The storyline was stupid because they made her Duke's girlfriend, and essentially her brother was Cobra Commander. So
I remember a lot of people complaining that Channing Tatum was Duke. They're like, no.
You know a funny story, because every time Jeremy mentions it, the G.I. Joe live action, Ryan will have to come out and say, well, yeah, Channing Tatum was a great Duke. then the clashing fights. So yeah.
So you mean Ryan knows just which buttons to push?
Yeah. So I
Which
think
is-
Channing Tatum was just a horrible. Like
yeah.
he's the worst interpretation of Duke. Like
I just wanted to give a shout out to Robbie, Release McCracken.
hello,
The McCracken is also in chat. Hi, Robbie. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
At least Channing Tatum's a good gambit or an enjoyable gambit.
I don't know. I just never been a fan of his.
Only if he was coming as his Magic Mike character.
Yeah, well, that's for the ladies.
I like 21 Jump Street. I thought it was funny.
No, I only watched the original 21 Jump Street with Johnny Depp in, but that's now really decades ago.
Yeah, well, you know what's funny? In the original 21 Jump Street, there is a scene where Johnny Depp is playing with a transformer.
Are you kidding?
He is playing around with I'm
gonna find that
with Autobot. I actually posted a while ago on X, but he was playing with Autobot Springer, who's a triple changer. So Johnny Depp is seen holding him, he's transforming him, he's sitting at his desk playing with him. So I thought that was pretty cool. And there was also a scene in Miami Vice, because I can go back and there was a scene in Miami Vice where one of the bad guys was actually transforming Shockwave, and then he's trying to figure him out. And then if you go back to the second Aliens movie, when they're in the lab, there are things that are pointing down. It's actually Shockwave upside down, looking like just a tool in it. So, and of course, when you got like Stranger Things putting in, the G.I. Joe memorabilia and Transformers and stuff like that. So, yeah. So anytime I've ever seen a certain show, you go, hey, was that a Transformer in there? So it is pretty cool. So
I've got that as a short, but now I don't know if it actually shows the Transformer in it on my second screen. If you wanted to see it,
sure.
Let's see. Let's see if I can pull it up. Share screen. Oh God, why is it giving me all this crap? There we go. Okay, share. Is it there?
Yep. Yes, it's the real ID. When's your birthday? Don't think about it. April 4th, 1968. What's your sign? Why do you want to buy me a drink?
No, it's not that one, Carl Hauser.
Okay. Oh, good. Like I said, I posted on an X a while ago. So, yeah.
Oh God, I'm looking at Rachel Ziegler in a dress with pasties on her. Sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no, it's just.
So horrible. there's a lot. There was a lot of series where you would actually see, Transformers or GI Joe. Now I know that they're planning on doing a couple new cartoon series. I think Netflix is involved with one. I think it's Netflix. They're involved with one of the new. I don't have much faith in Netflix because, excuse me, because the one series they did do, the Combiner Wars, they made this one Transformer female, a girl boss, called Wingblade, who basically dominated, the Combiners like Devastator and Bruticus. Like it was just we all know ridiculous. Why they did that. Yeah.
And, champion the female message, and please. Yeah.
For a series that could have been good, they really botched it. So that was a Netflix thing. And then I know at the end of Bumblebee, The Rise of the Beast, they did mention at the end where the guy met with one of the humans saying, "We want you to join our force." So, morning, Darth Bane. They
Late and gay.
they want they want to they wanted to do the GI Joe Transformer crossover. So that's apparently in the works. I hope. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying. Speaking of which, there's also rumors that they're gonna shoehorn Power Rangers into that in some way.
I heard.
So I was curious on like if they were to do that, what way would you be okay with if they did that?
None, because they are two different. They are two different entities.
Says the man who bought his girlfriend a Power Ranger pink pony, a Transformers My Little Pony.
But so I bought it for her, but I don't. Yeah. I still don't believe.
You don't buy into it.
Yeah, I don't buy into it. I was like, okay, you know what? She likes My Little Pony. I like Transformers, so I'll just like here.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah.
But I'll say this, like I told you the other day, if they were to do it, me being a Power Rangers fan, I think it would be the most sense that if they incorporate the Zords backstory, them once being Beast Transformers as like part of the Beast Wars or something. I don't see a way of the Rangers working with the Joes unless they're forced to, because the Joes being a government agency and the Rangers being vigilantes. So I see them more as adversaries, but maybe the Transformers could bring them together or whatever. But that's how I see them working. I agree with you that they are very different properties, but if you are going to combine them, the best way to do it is through the Zords.
Yeah. I think Darth Bane has a question. Anybody reading Power Rangers Prime, where they're brought into the VR troopers?
I saw that they're doing that. I have not read the comics. I kind of stood away from them because it's a whole new universe. Yet they're taking on the original VR troopers, which were supposed to be in the original universe of Power Rangers. So I'm like, I don't know. It feels kind of tacky. You're taking the original VR troopers, but then you're doing brand new Rangers. I'm not really a fan of that.
Yeah, doesn't it sometimes feel like they force things that shouldn't belong together, but they're trying to garner the popularity of both into something that they think they're going to bring both fan sets together and make something that everyone's going to watch. And all it does is actually alienate the true fans on both sides, and they end up with no one watching.
Oh, well, sorry, go ahead.
I just to say it's mainly because they want to do their own story. They want to take the existing IP of two separate IPs, but they want to make their own story. And it's like
something shouldn't happen. Yeah, but don't you think sometimes they should just leave things the way they are? But I think it's also because they're running out of original ideas, so they're always trying to make something out of that was best left alone. Or am I speaking from total?
I don't know if it's that I'm being cynical or whatever. It's just like I enjoy these IPs. So if I'm going to get more of them and it's done in an enjoyable manner, I see nothing wrong with it. I would be perfectly happy with Power Rangers being a thing for 100 years if it's good content. But with what they're doing, I would agree. Then you might as well leave it alone, because you're not making it in the way that the fans enjoy. And they keep thinking, oh, well, we need to go after new fans. We need to bring in new fans. And it's like, use the existing fans to build the new
and
fans.
Get it right. And just get it right, for God's sake. Then you're already halfway there.
So I can look at the new. Okay, so I like the new Skybound Transformers. Like I think it's a fantastic story, because it's Transformers. They're putting in a bit of GI Joe, but now they're adding Mask. Like I don't have a problem, but the thing is, if they're gonna it's my problem is for GI Joe and Transformers, they're almost trying to make this almost like an Avenger style doomsday type meetup where you're just going to have everybody show up. I don't want everybody to show up. You know, Marvel, you know, Marvel is its own thing. DC is its own thing. Transformers, like okay, it's like this. If Unicron shows up, everybody's finished. that is it. Everybody is done. Because, like, you know, there was always this big debate. Who is the strong? Because I remember Mahler on EFAP. They talked about it on like when they did their verses. Like, they did their verses, like James Bond versus Jack Bauer versus Ethan Hunt. The Lord of the Rings guy versus this person.
Oh yeah.
And then it went over and over. But I remember when Unicron showed up, and it was just like
game over.
It was game over because nobody can touch Unicron because, first of all, the guy's a planet eater. When he transforms, like, even Galactus can't even come close to him. Like, he can do certain things. The only thing that can hurt him is the Autobot matrix of leadership. So essentially that's the power beyond. So, you know, I'm afraid that they're going to start bringing in certain things. Like, I love Mask, but as long as Mask is part of the Cobra organization from G.I. Joe, then it's fine. But if they start making all these certain different groups, then I'll start having a problem, because at the end of the day, it's like when it came to the live action Transform movies, if Scorponok shows up, everybody's finished. The real Scorponok. Megatron shows up, everybody's finished. Like, it just doesn't make any sense where you can't compete on that level against you know, alien beings from another universe who are metallic and have minds of their own. And that was the problem with the live action movies, where they just made a whole bunch of Decepticons drones who couldn't think for themselves. They were just there. So if you have to make it in a certain way where it actually is going to make sense, because I'm sorry, but if the real Scorponok shows up, you're Omega Supreme.
You better show up at the end.
You're not beating those
the
guys.
end of the franchise, because everyone's gone. Darth Bane says about the Power Rangers Prime. He says they're new Rangers, some human, some one is Aquitar, one is Altharian, some straight, some gay. Oh, Rita is the Zordon, Green Ranger, but she's still slightly evil. And Beetle Johnson says he loves the new comics as well. Are you talking about the Power Rangers comics, Beetle?
No, I think he's talking about the Skybound Transformers.
And that's some contrast between the three properties. Is, you know, Power Rangers, for whatever reason, is going more woke. Like, it's just continuously going more and more woke for whatever reason, even though their sales, the comic sales, are consistently going down. And it's like they have the data proven what the issue is, and they're like, no, we're just going to keep doubling down. Just going to keep on doubling down.
Eventually that will, I think, turn around.
Well, you gotta hope, because it's like I know Jay talked about the whole merger, you know, with Netflix and Warner Brothers, and like I think there are certain, because of the way Netflix does, it's like a lot of these series, they make them woke, they make them gay, they make all this stuff. I just think that there's still some influence out there who will try to turn some of these properties into its own line of thinking. And because we've already seen that on Netflix, where they have all these shows where it's like, you got to make this Facebook is a cesspool, but in I'm part of one of the Friends groups, because I like Friends, but there's always somebody in there who's always putting in a thing why weren't there black characters in Friends?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And I'm just like, and this is what irks me. Friends is a great show.
The thing is, in real life, you're friends with who you are friends with. You're not going to say, oh, look at my circle of friends. I don't have a black friend. I don't have an Asian friend. I better bring someone in. That's bullshit. That's not how life works.
Well,
you're friends with who you're friends with.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be friends with someone who's like that. Like you don't want to be friends with someone who's just wants to be friends with you because you're white or because you're black or because you're Asian. Like they're not a true friend.
But I mean, not even that. That's not how friendships go. That's not how your circle of friends works. That you, in real life, would now say, shit, I don't have enough of this friend or that friend, and go and put people in. So why do it in a show? I'm with you there, Call Out.
Yeah, I remember Living Single. Yeah, because I watched that. So, but the whole thing is, they keep bringing this up. They should have, listen. There were, I think who was Aisha Taylor? She was in Friends. She was
Ross. Who was Ross's girlfriend? Geez, she was hot.
Yeah,
I mean, she was beautiful.
She also played Lana in Archer. But it was like it's like why? And then of course the Transformers Rise of the Beast, the director had to come out and say this was made for black and Hispanic characters. I never looked at Transformers as race. I always looked at Transformers as
it's entertainment.
As robots. That's all I care about. You can't
have a race assigned to a robot.
One of my favorite G.I. Joe characters is Roadblock. Arthur Burkhart, who played Destro and Devastator, black guy, one of my good friends. Jazz, black guy. Blaster, black guy, great people, but I never situated anything upon race. I just want to enjoy it for what it is,
my understanding with Transformers was that they were robots, and if they had any stereotypical personalities, they were mimicking humans. It wasn't that they had those personalities to begin with. They were mimicking us humans.
Yeah. Well, Jazz, played by the great late Scatman Crothers, fantastic black actor. He was in stuff from back in the day. The fact that they were able to get him for Transformers was amazing. Scatman Crothers, this guy was a phenomenal actor. And that's what it always amazed me who they got to play characters like. Everyone Loves Raymond.
Yes.
So the brother Robert, he played Trypticon, right? It was just like Triptych. It's just like when you listen to Trypticon's voice, you're just like, when you listen to it now, it sounds like Robert because it was very.
Robert was the tall one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cop. If I'm not mistaken.
Trypticon was a dinosaur. He was a city. He was basically Decepticon city. So, but yeah, he played him. So, and it was pretty cool. Like, Leonard Nimoy was the original Galvatron in the movie, and then it went back to Frank Welker. Judd Nelson played Hot Rod. Which was cool. Robert Stack played Ultra Magnus. In the G.I. Joe movie, Don Johnson played Lieutenant Falcon. Don Duke's
Johnson,
Miami Vice.
Miami Vice, yes.
Yeah, he played Lieutenant Falcon, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson's dad.
Yeah.
Now, Power Rangers doesn't really have that kind of connection, but I would say like some of the actors did appear in like sitcoms. For example, Walter Jones, who was the original Black Ranger, and then Jason David Frank, Tommy, they both appeared as bullies in Family Matters. They were bullying Steve Urkel, and then Walter again. He's shown up face popped up everywhere. Oh, all right.
Which
That's
one
okay.
was that?
There.
Which one was that?
That was my night raven.
Oh,
So
it
let me
went
fix that.
flying. Yeah, fix that quickly.
But no, yeah, Walter Jones, he showed up in a lot of stuff. I think he showed up in Fresh Prince. So yeah, like those are the two most prominent. On some of the more earlier stuff, I believe the actress's name is Rose McIver. She was in
Rose
iZombie.
McGovern. It's Rose McGovern.
Yeah, she was in iZombie, and currently she's in the show Ghosts, and she was Yellow Ranger in one of the, I believe it was the RPM season. She was the Yellow Ranger.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of actors found their roots in sort of kiddies movies, or what was originally thought of as children's movies.
yeah, there's
Carl Housen. I wonder if his whole shelf has fallen down.
oh Lord.
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm going to try something here. Sorry.
I could show this off real quick. It's not Power Rangers, but
Yeah,
it's
you do that.
the same studio. So another tokusatsu show was Kamen Rider, and Saban tried to incorporate one of those shows, one of the Kamen Rider shows, Kamen Rider RX Black, and they tried to make the Masked Rider. And I have the thermos. This is my actual thermos from my childhood that I
my word.
I somehow over the years when we moved or something, I lost the actual lunchbox. I wish I still had it, but I still have the thermos. And you see there,
Geez.
1996 Saban Entertainment.
Oh, wow.
So this is one of my prized possessions.
Beetle Johnson says that's really cool as well. He likes that. Did your whole shelf fall down, Carl Hauser?
Yeah, the night raven. I had to just check to make sure it wasn't broken. So.
Oh God.
Did you see my thermos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Darth Bane also says he wishes he had all his MMPR. Okay, what's that? MMPR toys
Mighty
from when he
Morphin
was
Power
a kid.
Rangers. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, he's like absolutely. Yeah.
And then I've got this little car that's Power Rangers themes. It's got the Green Ranger shield and stuff. So
yeah.
But no, on the whole crossovers things, I want crossovers to work well. And I think the largest problem with crossovers is you get people working on the project that don't know anything about either property. And they don't care to research. They just want to make their story and use the IP.
Well, they did do a Star Trek Transformers comic crossover.
And did it work?
It was with Kirk and everyone, but I didn't even bother. I had no interest, even though I love Star Trek, the OG. I love Transformers. I don't want to see them together.
Yeah, that's just it. Most people, true fans, probably don't want to see these crossovers. So they lose the true fans, and the base isn't there for new fans, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For new fans to make it work. I think that's what happened with Star Wars as well. I see a lot of people moan about the Acolyte and all of that. So I think they were trying to make it for a new generation of fans that don't exist without the old generation of fans, the true fans.
Right.
It was just.
I know I may take a little flack, but listen, I love the prequels.
I'm right there with you.
And I grew up watching the original, the OG. When the prequels came out, I enjoyed them. I like Phantom Menace. I like
Ah,
Attack of the Clones. I like
yeah.
Revenge of the Sith. Now, when I rate my Star Wars,
Uh,
Empire Strikes Back is first,
mm,
Revenge of the Sith is second, A New Hope, then A New Hope. Like I would say, I I'm not a big fan of Return of the Jedi because I think Return of the Jedi should have went another way. Like all the lightsaber scenes, Vader versus Luke, they were all fantastic. Um,
mm,
but I always go back, and I think I had this conversation with Isaac and Cornboy, where I remember saying, if what happened to the AT-AT that was on Endor, that it was there in the beginning, and then when the big battle happened, that AT-AT was gone. So um you
I
know
didn't know. I didn't know people called them that. I always called them ATs.
yeah, there it was either AT-AT or AT-ATs. So but yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't a fan of Rogue One. I
Didn't
did
watch it.
watch The Force Awakens when it came out. I thought,
Yeah.
okay, this is new. Didn't like it. I didn't like any of those movies. I think I fell asleep. I actually fell asleep in Rogue One, and I fell asleep in The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker because I just thought they were boring. But I'll always kick back and watch Attack of the Clones or Phantom Menace. So
I didn't watch Solo. I didn't watch Rogue One. I went to the theaters opening day for um, the first of the sequels, and I had the same effect as Jeremy says. I liked it at first. I was really pumped, really excited, and then I watched it a second time. I was like, I didn't enjoy it much. By the third time, I was like, yeah, this isn't Star Wars.
Yeah.
that whole Mass Kanata and all this nonsense, I was just like, what is this? This, and like even for Boba Fett, like I love Boba Fett, right? And when that show came out, I thought, okay, so when he showed up in The Mandalorian, okay, here's Boba Fett kicking butt. Like he is just wrecking all those storm, and that's the way he should be. And then they just made him a side character, a comedic relief almost. Because,
Mm,
where I remember I was saying, listen, if you're gonna make a Boba Fett show, you have it during Empire, right? You have them fighting. Like I remember I pitched this to Ryan. I was like, you have Boba Fett on a planet fighting with all the other bounty hunters, and then they get this message that Vader's looking for all these bounty hunters to go find Han Solo. It's just like you have them fighting other bounty hunters. You have them going on actual missions on doing what bounty hunters do, collecting.
mm, yeah.
Where the Mandalorian just turned into a babysitting show, and then you bring in Boba Fett, who has a friend who has friends with him, which just made no sense. So
Yeah.
yeah. So and then Beetle Johnson, like even like I love the Gennard Taranovsky Clone Wars on Adult Swim. Those were amazing. Like it was just nothing but action, just pure just it was, and it tied right into Revenge of the. It was between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, so it tied right in.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, which
Um,
most things today don't make any sense, though.
Yeah. uh, Darth Bane said his favorite theme was Power Rangers and TNMT, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, because those were his favorites growing up. And Beetle Johnson says, I do too, and the short cartoons that ties the OG
Yeah.
Star Wars to the prequels. Drakkon, what do you think of Voltron Power Rangers crossover? That's from Beetle.
I didn't know there was one.
Well, I can
did
tell.
one.
Well, I was just going to say Beetle. They did a Robotech Voltron crossover. They did a limited comic, so
I don't know much
Oh.
about Voltron. I thought Voltron looked cool. I know the first time I saw them, I was like, "Oh, that's wannabe Power Rangers," and then people told me, "No, Power Rangers is a wannabe Voltron," and I was just like, "What?" I know from what people tell me, none of the Power Rangers, none of their Zords are as powerful as Voltron. I would disagree simply because of if you know Zeo's backstory, you know that the Zeo powers get stronger over time. As the Zeo crystals age, they gain power. So, depending on at what stage in the Zeo crystal's lifespan they're in, depends on whether or not Voltron would defeat the Zeo Rangers or not. Now, if it's the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Voltron will probably win. I'll admit to that. But like I said, it depends on which team Voltron faces as to whether they would win or not.
Well, I remember there was a big debate we were going at, basically Voltron versus Devastator for Transformers. And of course, there was a whole bunch of people picking Voltron. And I said, no, Voltron is still controlled by humans, whereas Devastator is not. He's a cybernetic being combined with construction vehicles. So, I see Brimstone's in the chat. Hey Brimstone, like the one thing we will not agree with is Beast Wars. So I hate Beast Wars. So, but I'm glad that he likes it. But I cannot stand Beast Wars. It is just the worst interpretation I think of Transformers ever did. But listen, it's a different generation, right? I grew up on G1. A lot of people grew up on the Beast Wars. So.
Well, it's the same thing with Power Rangers. I like majority of the older Power Rangers, and then the younger Power Ranger fans, they like majority of the newer. I can't tell you how many of right. I can't tell you how many of the younger Power Ranger fans.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. I was just saying it's generational, and I look across and he said exactly the same thing.
I can't tell you how many of the younger fans constantly post about how they're tired of MMPR, and it's like a lot of us older fans are like, you wouldn't have your season without MMPR, and more people know about MMPR than any other season. It's why it's constantly like remade and toys and everything revolves around MMPR. It's because that's what built the franchise.
Yeah, like if you go back to like the early 80s, even before Voltron, like because Voltron they had like 3 different series, because you think the last interpretation were the Lions, and then before you had all the vehicles, so you had like different Voltrons. But then back in the day you had like Grandizer, you had Vanguard Ace, you had Force 5, you had all these other different where they merged into like one robot, right? So there was a lot of as Darth Bean was saying, there was a lot of different series before Voltron, so it came out.
Wasn't there a season where they were like spaceships?
Well, I know the one Voltron series, they were combined with vehicles like ships, planes, cars, a whole bunch of stuff, and they just all went into one. Right.
That's what Power Rangers in space is. They were all spaceships. They're Zords. They were all just different sizes. And
Spirian is also in chat. He says he grew up watching Generation 1.
Good man.
Darth Bane. And Darth Bane says if we're including Sentai, then they were out before Voltron.
Yeah, and like I was saying, even Beetle was saying, you go back to Battle of the Planets. There were in Japan, there were so many different series that came out. Like I said, Grandizer, Vanguard Ace. There was just so many.
Sentai goes back to the early 70s. So
he says out before Voltron. Brimstone also says MMPR is awesome. He always liked The Lost Galaxy the best. And Beetle says he goes all the way back to Battle of the Planets.
Yeah, that's me as well.
Yeah, and I think Darth Bane also, Yeah, no, Brimstone said his favorites are Exo Squad, The Real Ghostbusters, TNMP. Let's just do that, and Beast Wars.
Yeah, for Exo Squad, because I remember Exo Squad, they did a thing with when Robotech, they did like Robotech did they did a merge with Exo Squad, so they had like the Robotech Exo Squad line. So I remember because I have a couple of those Exo Squad Robotech toys somewhere. Yeah, Voltron, the vehicle force consisted of 15 different vehicles. I remember Robot Chicken did a skit on the Voltron, and it was all the vehicles. And I remember after the battle, when Voltron showed up, the vehicle battle, they were like, "You're not even the real Voltron," because they were looking for the lions, the lion version of Voltron.
Well, isn't there like a spoof movie with like Team America or something that kind of spoofs on Power Rangers and Voltron and all that?
I don't recall. All I remember is the spoof Keel and Peele did on Power Rangers. So, because even it was funny because so the Green Ranger was played by Peele. No, was it Peele or? Yeah, it was by Peele. He was the Green Ranger, but they kept on calling him the Black Ranger because he was black.
Oh no!
So they kept on. He's like, "No, I'm the Green Ranger." He's like, so that's why I say if anyone go watch that Keel and Peele skit on the Power Rangers. So
did you catch the race joke in the 2017 Power Rangers movie?
I don't remember.
So it's when they first get the power coins and they fall into the water basin in the quarry, and their power coins start glowing. Well, they made Billy black in the movie, and they made Zach Asian, and they did the joke where Zach says, "I'm black," and Billy goes, "What?" He's like, "I am," and Billy goes, "No, you're not."
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just giving you the link for Beardo.
Yeah. No, yeah. There was a lot. There was a lot of funny spoofs out there. So that there's I don't know if anyone remembers. They did it was called Transmorphers. So it was basically a knockoff of Transformers.
Yep, I remember.
So I think C. Thomas Howell and Bruce Boxleitner was in it. So it was basically it was supposed to be Transformers, but it was called Transmorphers. It was just a bad B Transformers movie. So
yeah, geez, Bruce Boxleitner, that's a name from the past.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Maybe it's after your time, but do you remember the books, the Animorphs?
No.
So they were about teenagers that could turn into animals. And I remembered about the books is that they would make the logo similar to the Transformers logo. And they really played off of that hard. And it was nothing like Transformers. There was no technology. It was just kids that had the ability to turn into animals.
Yeah, Animorphs. Wow. Oh, People 101 is in chat as well.
Oh, hello.
And he's also very impressed with Animorphs. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, listen, growing up in the 80s and like there was just so many different series and so many different shows.
Yep.
You know, and then of course, like even in the 90s, I was a big fan of Eek the Cat. And Eek the Cat was on Fox Kids. Like it was
Chinese show?
No, it was it was an American show. Eek. How would that be?
Oh no, I heard Eek the Cat.
Oh no, sorry. Eek. Eek.
I heard that too, but I didn't want
to. So EEK.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was
okay, so Eek. Not
I
eat.
remember that.
To be fair, I'm very far away. So
remember-
people says memory recall Animorphs was 90s, early 2000s. And Darth Bane says, anyone remember Big Bad Beetleborgs? Hey,
I
Beetle
remember
Johnson, you're
that
almost there.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
I
Beetle says
remember
he
Beetleborgs
remembers.
because
Yeah.
their mentor looked like a cross between Elvis and Jay Leno.
Next, Beetle Johnson's going to tell us his name comes from Beetleborgs. Is that true? Beetle? Because I know Carl House's, yours is a combo of two G.I. Joe characters.
Well, it's one
Or-
G.I. Joe character. It's just one rank and into his last name.
Yeah.
Colonel Hauser.
And, and Drakkon. Oh, Deeple's question mark. Yeah, he was going to say it looks like Leno.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Oh, old Renaissance boomers also made it. Hi, nice seeing you. Orb. Are you looking up?
No, I'm just putting so everyone can to join Fear the Beardo in a few minutes.
Our Beardo is always 15 minutes late. This time.
I just want to let everyone know on December the 20th, we're gonna have Mo Zamboni, because Mo Zamboni is a big Transformers and G.I. Joe fan. So we're gonna be talking Transformers and G.I. Joe with Mo, and so that's gonna be on the 20th, and then Ryan Kennel from RKL Post, we're gonna be doing some 24. So we're just trying to get a date on that. So we're gonna be because Ryan wants to do a 24 stream. So we're going to be talking some 24 on.
I'll have to brush up on that.
Yeah, so because
Watch it,
24 is
rewatch.
actually they're looking at redoing the to finish the continuation of Jack Bauer, which Keith Sutherland looks like he's coming back. So hey, old Renaissance.
Cool.
So so Ryan and I are going to do a 24 stream. So we're going to be talking about the best seasons, the worst seasons. So, but yeah, we're still working on that. But like I said, keep an eye out for December 20th with Mo Zamboni. So
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so we're about to just end the stream. So Drakkon, thanks for joining. Any closing thoughts? Where they can find you, what you're doing?
So yeah, I'm going to be posting AI music that I'm doing. I just find it fun. So I'll be doing like about once a week on my channel every Monday. And you can find me at Drakkon_CM on X. And just if you want, check out my channel. The Covercast Christmas song that just posted last week that Anjanette did the video for me. And then the IDOT song that Anjanette also did the video for me. Those are both on my channel.
Yeah.
So both of those are on my channel as well. I've got shorts on there and stuff. So I'm going to try to post shorts first and then the full screen one. But yeah, you can find me on X and that YouTube channel. And I've had fun today.
Drakkon, just spell your channel name on YouTube out for me.
Yeah, it's my name, Drakkon, Drakkon, Culture Media.
ADF. As in Alpha Delta Foxtrot, ADF. And does it have an act in front?
K-O-N. So Drakkon, D-R-A-K-K.
No, I've got Drakkon, I've got Culture. Then what is at the end?
Media. M-E-D-I-A.
What the hell did I hear? I was thinking, I'll drop my link there as well.
Yep. Any closing thoughts, Anjanette?
Check out my channel as well. I'm trying to grow it for shits and giggles. I post all the stuff that I do for TNME and for G&G. I post there, and then just stuff I do on commissions for Drakkon and for Phil McCracken. I did one for him as well on Glorious Death. So that's all there as well. I think I've given my link. I don't know if that's how it works. Anyway, it's there. So yeah. And then also, guys, for this stream, oh God, please drop a like. All of you in chat, go drop a like quickly.
Drop a like, subscribe, and we will
share
see you.
And please comments, even if it's just to tell Colehouse and Drakkon how incredibly knowledgeable they are. Comments help.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Anniversary to G.I. Joe. 199, yo, Joe. 40th anniversary, huh?
No, a real American hero. That's what he means.
Oh.
Yeah, a real American hero.
I thought that was just like coming from the perspective of a Chinese Muslim. Like, praise Allah. That's what I thought that was.
I'm sorry, she made it wrong, but then when you brought the Chinese Muslim into it.
There you go. Praise Allah. Come get my she chicken.
Oh, shit.
Anniversary to G.I. Joe. 199, yo, Joe. 40th anniversary, huh?
No, a real American hero. That's what he means.
Oh.
Yeah, a real American hero.
I thought that was just like coming from the perspective of a Chinese Muslim. Like, praise Allah. That's what I thought that was.
I'm sorry, she made it wrong, but then when you brought the Chinese Muslim into it.
There you go. Praise Allah. Come get my she chicken.
Oh, shit.